Hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's video. And today we're going to be taking a look at installing a Modbo 5 mod chip into a PlayStation 2. For those of you who don't know what a Modbo 5 mod chip is, it's essentially the only commercially available mod chip even available anymore for the PlayStation 2. They are still being made in China, but as I say, if you want or you need a modded PlayStation 2, it's pretty much the only thing you can do. Now I need one because what I want to do is I need to check something on my PSX before I install the Matrix Infinity we've got for it. Now, namely, I need to check that reset line, because the reset line that tends to be used for mod installs on that machine on my board doesn't look like it's part of the reset circuit. Now, the only reason I can think of that would be if that point is electronically switched by the machine once it boots into PS2 mode, once it detects a PlayStation disc. If that's the case, then that is indeed the point we need to be using, but I need to check that. And the only way I can check that is if I can get the machine to boot anything. And the only way I can get the machine to boot anything with that laser knackered as it is essentially to actually put something in USB and try to get it to boot. So I need free McBoot to actually enable me to do that, because by default the machine won't boot to USB. Now, to create a free McBoot memory card, I need a modded PlayStation 2. So I need to take one of the two version 7 PS2s that I own and fit a Modbo 5 to it. Now, the chips themselves are cheap, they're only about a £5, and I do have one, and I will be using one of the version 7 PS2s I have, basically to install it so that I can get free McBoot and we can continue with our PSX adventure. So without further ado, this is basically a time lapse today of me installing that mod chip, and you'll be able to see what I do and how I do it, and hopefully at the end you'll be quite impressed with the wire management and, you know, hopefully the way that I work with them. Now, suffice it to say, if you do find it useful and you find it interesting, there's anything at all you want to know with regards to wire management and all that sort of stuff, then by all means drop questions into the comments section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you want a further video down the line on wire management and how I sort of plan these things out, then by all means let me know and I'll be more than happy to put one together for you. As always, any other questions at all that you have, just drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you could comment, rate, like and subscribe on this video, it all helps the channel massively, and I can't thank you enough for that. So without further ado, I'll leave you with the PlayStation. Let's get on with it and I'll see you soon.
Two souls colliding, we shared the pieces of ourselves. It's perfect timing now. We fueled the flames, but we're still learning to trust, learning to trust. It's never enough, never enough. Burning me up, burning me up. Don't fight the fire, too much too fast to burn us out. We walk the wire, love. Don't make me read your mind, I know it. Learning to trust, learning to trust. It's never enough, never enough. Burning me up, burning me up. I won't fall when I'm picking you up. With my hand I won't be strong enough. Our love is stronger, and I'll be here. Might leave, now we're taking the jump. My pride, cause I know you're the one. Our love is stronger. Baby, I know that it's stronger than yesterday. Two sparks igniting, we left some space for us to breathe. My head is quiet now, I can rest in peace, cause you are more than enough, more than enough. Feeling the rush, feeling the rush. Burning in love, burning in love. Two souls united, this roaring blaze is soaring free. If you ever get tired, love, I'll sing you gently to sleep, cause you're still more than enough, more than enough. Feeling the rush, feeling the rush. Burning in love, burning in love. I won't fall when I'm picking you up. With my hand I won't be strong enough. Our love is stronger, and I taking the jump. My pride, cause I know you're the one I love is stronger. Baby, I know that it's stronger than yesterday.
Blinded by the ones I lost, connecting lines of which we crossed, dropped off the scene at side, wishing to have one more fight left in me. The life I see, what's left in me, burning bridges to the ground. Take away what's left of me. Burning bridges to the ground. Blinded by the light ahead, thought about just what you said. Connecting lives is what you planned. After all, let's take a chance. Turning dust into diamonds, turning love into guidance. A second chance, let us commence. That's what I left. The life I see, what's left in me.
At this point I revisited the ground point, so there was nothing really wrong with it, but when I used to do these back in the day I was a real stickler for getting these nice and uniform and getting them looking really good. This one just wasn't cutting it for me, so I went back and redid it.
Take away what's left of me. Burning bridges to the ground. Open eye, Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me. Can make me move. You can make me
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. I've been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I. you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Careful with your pretty eyes and run with me, you're done. 'Cause you and I are a secret. Feel my drift against your skin. 'Cause honestly, let's hold our breath. This is so real. Just you and me. Let's escape, girl, tonight. Careful with your pretty eyes and run with me, you're done. 'Cause you and I are a secret. Feel my drift against your skin. 'Cause honestly, let's hold our breath. This is so real. Just you and me. Let's escape, girl, tonight.
were so sure of our love. I never thought of any reason, a doubt about us, and now I'm right back at the start. Halfway through a bottle, baby, and nothing to know. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy. And you know how to forget.
So at this point I decided to go back to CX. I'd had an idea of how I could really neatly route these wires and build a little harness down by the chip. So to make this neater, I decided to go back and just switch this wire around.
Baby, and I can't break away. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy, take it easy. I thought that I could keep it low, take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before, so take it easy. To speak, you're quick to change your mind. And I know it's me that followed you in blind. I could say that you didn't need, but you wanted me. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my lips. Bring me back to life. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. Yeah, I could say that you didn't need any part of me. Yeah, maybe it's not me, you should be the one on your knees. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my
So it was at this point I decided that I was actually going to go with the H point on the CD/DVD controller. And the reason for this is because there's no actual proper Modbo 5 diagrams from what I can see, and people go for the version 4 diagrams, which work fine for the most part, but they do say that for non-Australian PAL machines the H point is not required. But it would appear that it may be the case. People online sort of say no, the H point is required on the 5. So I decided to just drop it in there on the off chance, and we'll see if that was the correct thing to do when we go to test it later on.
wondering how to make a play all night. Looking your way from out of sight, thinking I should ask if you're doing alright. You weren't easy, so hard to ignore. Pull up on your right, ask what you're drinking, ask what you like. Said you look good in the dim bar light, so damn cheesy. Who'd have thought you'd fall for somebody like me? When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked, and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. Took you out and showed you the city. How'd you let somebody so pretty's what they said to me? Yeah, that's what they said to me. Well, they told me I didn't stand a chance, yeah. Face value, had you at a glance, yeah. But nobody ever asked if you could dance, yeah. Well, only one who did that was somebody like me. When you asked my name, I panicked, so out of my league. And your body was so magnetic. Before I knew it, we talked, and I think about you a cocktail. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody, somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody like me. You told me that you've been waiting for somebody, somebody like me. Somebody like me.
And that's it. So a couple of little housekeeping jobs. First off, this CR2032 battery that's been in there since the machine was new. That's completely gone, so we've got some nice shiny new Varta CR2032s in here. These are very good. We're just going to pop a new cell into the holder, just like that. And that'll be our system settings, time and date saved. And now we've just got to rebuild the machine and put everything back together as we found it. So that's our laser assembly back in. And now, with the magic of the internet, we're going to steam through putting the screws back in the motherboard shield. And our wires are playing peekaboo. Just there. That's perfection there around that stud. And with the magic of the internet, a click of the finger, and there we go, all rebuilt. Okay, so on with testing. So let's power the machine up, and hopefully, there we go, we're going to matrix splash screen. So that's a very, very good start. We'll get this loading boot menu. Now this will fail. This is because the config of the Modbo 5 is set to boot from mass storage by default. So to get around that, all we're going to do is we're going to get our controller. We're going to hold triangle and circle together. Keep them held and hit reset. Keep them held. And we should see in a second a blue screen pop up. And this is the Infinity Config menu. So this is all the settings on our Modbo 5. Now I'm just going to set this up how I like it. So I'm going to turn the MC16 patches off because I only use genuine Sony memory cards. DVD video region is 2 here in Europe. Boot mode, we can see the various boot modes there. We want to set auto. Mass is hard drive, Infinity Manager, Dev 1 and 2 memory cards, etc, etc. And the pad detect time and the boot logo we'll go through later. Hit start to save the settings and reboot the machine. Just going to pop a memory card into here as well. And there we go, we can see now we get our usual boot screen up when we start the machine, and we should get the browser screen, and we do, and that's excellent. We're happy there. So everything seems to be working on the face of it, so now we just need to test it with some games. We're going to do originals and backups just to make sure everything's working as it should do. So we'll start with PS1 CD, of course, black bottom. I'm going to pop that in, put the tray back in, and then reset the machine, and we'll see this thing should boot pretty quick. So there we go. So it should only take a couple of seconds for it to recognise the disk, and it does. And you'll see there we get a flashing blue eject light, and that is to signify that the machine has recognised the disk as PS1 and is currently booting. That's because, by default, the Modbo 5, for some reason, hides the original PlayStation Splash logo screen. I don't know why it does that. The Infinity doesn't. The genuine Matrix Infinity actually still shows the screen. But the Modbo 5 for some reason hides it, so it just goes black. So I'm pretty sure it flashes the light just to signify the fact that the disk is booting and it hasn't just sort of died on you. And as you can see there, it comes up pretty quick, and we're to the language select screen. So we're just going to take the original disk out, and we have a backup of the same disk on a decent quality CDR. We're going to pop that in, close the tray, and reset the machine. There we go. Now, you know, backups, burn DVDs don't boot as quickly as pressed discs. That's just nature of the beast. But as you can see, this still goes pretty quick. And again, you know, we're going to get a black screen for a few seconds while the disc actually loads. So in theory, what it's actually doing is the PlayStation logo is technically there. That splash screen is there, but it hides it. So hence you get the black screen for the duration you would normally get the PlayStation screen, which is really odd. I don't know why it does it. You would think they'd put like their own little splash logo there, but I don't know why. But there we go. We can see the game is now up. Electronic Arts, EA, and we get the language select screen. So PS1 games and backups are working perfectly fine. So only thing to do now is start on the PS2 games, and we're going to go with PS2 CD, Half-Life. The purple bottom discs, of course, are CD-ROM based. So same thing with this one. Cracking game if you've not played it. I highly recommend you do if you're into your shooters. And there we go, so we'll reset. And again, this should boot fairly quick. Original pressed disc, of course. There we go. And we will get the PlayStation 2 splash screen, which of course makes it weirder why we don't get the PlayStation 1 one. But there we go, and in a few seconds we should see the game start to load. So it starts off with a black loading screen with a loading box in the middle. Does Half-Life 2, of course it's a PC port, so it's to be expected. It's there's a few patchwork bits put in there for console, including this little loading splash screen here. There we go. So it is indeed looking for the memory card. A lot of these games do when they boot. That's why I put it in when I started the system up, really. But as you can see there, that's fine. So we'll hit start and let it create a save file. And the memory card access is working fine. Controller's working fine, as we've seen. We've been able to browse the menus and things. So, press CD original works. What about the backup? So we've got a backup of Half-Life. Again, same decent quality of verbatim CDR. Pop the tray back in and reset. And again, you know, these should boot fairly quick. You're always going to get a slight delay with CDR and DVD+R media, but nothing too noticeable. And there you go, we've got a nice quick boot. And we'll have the same carry on as before. We'll see the little black loading message, and then the splash, and then eventually we should go through to the menu. Now we should get straight through to the menu on this particular occasion, of course, because we created a save file on the memory card on the previous boot. So the machine should be able to just access that and take us straight into the main menu. So that's the splash screen we've been waiting for, and sure enough, there you go, into the main menu. Everything's working fine. Animation on the boot screen is nice and smooth. Excellent. So, PS2 pressed and burned CDs work well. What about DVD? And we're starting here with Max Payne. Again, anybody who's into the shooters and hasn't played Max Payne. If you're thinking of getting a PS2 and you didn't have this first time round, then I highly suggest you do it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was bought by my lovely lady wife, who left me that little note there. And the ones who buy you nice little gifts like that, they're the keepers, boys. So anyway, DVD original goes in. We'll reset the machine and we'll wait for boot. So again, this should be pretty quick. The laser in this machine is not in bad nick. It probably does need a bit of a clean. There was quite a bit of dust in this machine when I tore it down. So I will go in and service the drive, but it looks like it's in fairly decent working order anyway. And as we can see there, we get a nice quick boot, a splash screen. So we know authentication is done. As soon as we see that PlayStation 2 screen, the mod chip's done its job. It's booted, it's authenticated, and it will disable itself as an anti-mod feature. And as we can see now, the machine is into the game proper. Splash screens are all working fine. FMV is nice and smooth, so you know it's not having any bother reading the discs, which is good. Here's the FMV. So we'll take this out now and we'll go with the backup. We'll just kill the audio for a sec. The audio loop while I change the disc. Okay, there we go. So burn disc in. Let's reset. And again, this should be pretty quick. Indeed it is. Really good quick disk authentication there. Yeah, lovely. And into the game. There we go. Yep, perfect. Perfect. And as we can see, FMV and everything is nice and smooth. Introductory screens loading. Everything's fine. I haven't really used these machines. These, the two PS2s I have are actually found in a bin. Believe it or not, they were thrown out. And I haven't really used them as such. I think one of them I've turned on, but I think it's the other one of the two. I don't think I've ever used this one in anger, so it's an interesting little look, because I didn't know if the drive or anything worked, but luckily it looks like it's in fairly good health. Like I say, it needs a clean. There we go. So we should be loading up to the main menu in a minute. There is a little loading splash screen before we get there, so we'll just make sure that that's going to come up. This is more of a health check of the PS2 rather than anything for the Modbo, to be honest. Yep, there we go. As I say, as soon as we get that PS2 authentication message, we're good. And there we go, thumbs up. Excellent. So let's reset this then, take the disc out, so we know all our games are working. I'm not going to test DVD video. You know, who's using a PS2 as a DVD video player these days, but I'm sure it'll work absolutely fine. I don't have any imports or anything anyway. So we'll take the controller out and I'll just show you what that pad detect time stuff does. And you can see here, look, we get the matrix screen and it will sit there for the period of time set in the config menu. The number is the time in seconds, and it'll either sit and wait for that duration to pass before it boots, or until it detects you've plugged the controller in. You can see there, when we plug the controller in, the machine then boots. So we'll go back into the config menu and we'll go down to the boot logo, and we'll do the pad detect time as well. So if I set pad detect time to 2 and reset this, so I'll take the controller out again, you'll see this time when we reset it, it'll stay for 2 seconds. We'll get the matrix logo. 2 seconds, the thing will boot. There you go. I'm pretty sure the reason for that feature is so that it gives you a chance to plug the controller in for any boot combinations you'll need to issue on startup. So to force either PS1 DVD mode, PS2 to the browser using X, or indeed into the menu. So it gives you a chance before it boots the machine. So I'm fairly sure that's what that feature's for. So that's that one covered off. Boot logo. I just put the pad detect time back up. Boot logo is essentially the matrix screen when it boots. So if you fancy a bit more of a stealthy approach when your machine boots, of course, you can turn that matrix logo off. So it should stay now black for 10 seconds or until we plug the controller back into one of the two controller ports on the front of the PlayStation 2. And you can see there we've got no matrix logo. And then once that time has elapsed or we plug the controller in, that triggers the machine to boot proper. And we're into the browser screen, of course, because we've no disk installed. So that is that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just go back into the config manager. And we'll just put the boot logo back on and just make sure everything here is set how I like it. Yeah, all looks pretty good to me. So we'll save those settings and we'll restart the machine. We'll make sure it boots again. Indeed, there we go. And there's the browser screen. Yeah, lovely. That's absolutely cracking and it's all working perfectly fine. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is. The Modbo is installed successfully now, version 7 PS2. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and as I said before that started, you know, if you have any questions, any comments whatsoever, then please drop them below the video. And of course, if you did enjoy it and you found it useful, if you could drop me a like, that would be great. And as I say, if this sort of content is the stuff that tickles your fancy, then please remember to subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell to be notified of any future uploads as and when they come. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will leave you there for today. Thank you very much for watching. You've been great as always. I've been Andy Paul, and I will see you on the next video in the not too distant future. So from me for now, it's bye-bye, and I hope life treats you well. Many thanks for watching then, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then why not check out these recommendations below. Also, please remember to comment, rate, and of course subscribe to the channel if you found this useful. We've plenty more content on there, and there's lots more to come.